Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today's story isn't about a war, a king, or an empire. It's about something far simpler, 2 wheels and a dream. The bicycle, one of the most elegant inventions in human history, changed how we move, how we live, and even how we think. From a wooden contraption pushed by feet in 1817 to the sleek machines that glide through our streets today, the bicycle has been a story of courage, creativity, and freedom. Every inventor, from Karl von Drais to James Starley, looked at motion and thought, "I can make this better." This is the story of how those dreams, born in workshops and farmlands, turned into a revolution on wheels.
History often remembers its heroes as warriors, kings, and conquerors. But sometimes, the true revolutionaries are those who give the world something far simpler, a new way to move. The story of the bicycle is one such tale. What began as a strange contraption on 2 wheels would, over 2 centuries, evolve into a symbol of human freedom, endurance, and ingenuity. From cobblestone streets of Europe to the highways of modern cities, the bicycle's journey mirrors humanity's restless desire for progress. A mechanical poem written in steel, sweat, and speed. At the dawn of the 19th century, Europe was reeling from war and environmental collapse. The year without a summer in 1816, caused by the eruption of Mount Tambora, had devastated harvests. Horses, then the main form of transport, were dying of starvation, and prices for feed had soared beyond reach. In this backdrop of scarcity and despair, a German inventor named Baron Karl von Drais asked a question that would spark a quiet revolution. Could a man move swiftly without a horse? In 1817, Drais unveiled his answer, a curious wooden contraption called the loft machine, or running machine. To modernize, it looked primitive. 2 wheels connected by a wooden beam, a small saddle, and a simple handlebar. No pedals, no gears, no brakes. The rider straddled it and pushed against the ground with his feet, gliding forward in short bursts. Yet this humble invention, the Draisine or dandy horse, as it came to be known, was the first spark of modern cycling. Drais's perspective was deeply utilitarian. His aim was not entertainment, but independence. He saw the bicycle as a democratic machine, a way for ordinary people to travel without reliance on animals or expensive carriages. For the first time in history, human legs alone could power motion faster than walking. It was a small, human-scaled revolution. However, society did not see it that way. Aristocrats mocked the contraption. Streets were unpaved, riders collided with pedestrians, and laws soon banned running machines from sidewalks. Within a few years, Drais's invention faded into obscurity, dismissed as a toy for eccentrics. But the idea had taken root. 2 decades later, in Scotland, a blacksmith's son named Kirkpatrick Macmillan saw one of Drais's machines pass by his village. Intrigued, he decided to build his own. But unlike Drais, he added something revolutionary: pedals. By 1839, Macmillan had created what many historians call the first true bicycle. It had rear-wheel drive, connected to the pedals through rods and levers. For the first time, a person could move continuously without touching the ground. The bicycle had begun to move on its own. Macmillan's creation was not widely known, but legend says that one day, he rode 60 miles from Dumfries to Glasgow, shocking locals as he sped down roads faster than any man on foot. Newspapers marveled at this velocipede, a machine that seemed to blur the line between walking and flying. Macmillan's vision was born from mechanical curiosity, not fame. He never patented his design or sought fortune. In fact, he was almost forgotten in history's long shadow. Yet his principle, that human motion could be transformed into wheel-driven speed, would inspire the next wave of inventors. In the 1860s, France became the beating heart of mechanical innovation. Two men, Pierre Michaud and Pierre Lallement, took Macmillan's idea and gave it a new form. They attached cranks and pedals directly to the front wheel, creating what they called the velocipede, but riders soon nicknamed it the Bone Shaker. It earned the name honestly. Made of iron and wood, with no suspension, it rattled bones and bruised muscles on every stone of Parisian streets. Yet for all its discomfort, the velocipede was thrilling. For the first time, ordinary people could experience speed. Not the speed of horses, but the speed of human will translated through engineering. Michaud, unlike Drais or Macmillan, was an entrepreneur. His vision was commercial. He opened the first bicycle factory, employing dozens of workers and producing hundreds of machines. To him, the bicycle was not just an invention but an industry, a symbol of progress in an age intoxicated by machinery. The velocipede craze swept across Europe and America, with wealthy young men racing through boulevards and parks. But the Bone Shaker was far from perfect. Its heavy frame and awkward design limited its reach. Once again, the bicycle risked becoming a passing fad. But just as it seemed to fade, another visionary appeared. One who would transform the bicycle into a machine of beauty, power, and danger. In the 1870s, English inventor James Starley, often called the father of the bicycle industry, began refining the velocipede. His innovation was radical. He enlarged the front wheel and shrank the rear one, creating the now iconic penny farthing, named after the two British coins, large and small. The larger wheel meant greater distance covered per pedal rotation, and thus higher speed. For the first time, bicycles were capable of exhilarating velocity. Riders soared high above the ground, balanced precariously over a giant wheel, mastering a machine that was as thrilling as it was dangerous. To Starley, the bicycle represented engineering elegance and adventure. His work reflected the Victorian spirit, daring, mechanical, and proud. Yet the penny farthing also embodied social contrast. It was a machine for the bold, the wealthy, and the male. Women in long dresses could not ride it, and falls were often brutal. Many suffered broken bones, or worse. Still, the penny farthing captured imaginations. It became a symbol of progress, a herald of modernity. Bicycle clubs formed, races were held, and for the first time, cycling became a sport. It was no longer merely transportation. It was exhilaration on wheels. But true revolutions come not from spectacle, but from accessibility. In 1885, another Englishman, John Kemp Starley, the nephew of James Starley, built a machine that changed everything: the Rover's safety bicycle. Its design seems obvious today: two wheels of equal size, a chain-driven rear wheel, and a diamond-shaped frame. Yet at the time, it was revolutionary. It combined speed, stability, and comfort. And crucially, it was safe enough for anyone to ride. John Kemp Starley's perspective differed from his uncle's. He saw the bicycle not as a thrill for the daring, but as a tool of liberation. His creation democratized cycling, allowing women, workers, and the middle class to embrace motion. The bicycle became a social equalizer, a machine that did not care about wealth, class, or gender. Soon, the invention of John Dunlop's pneumatic tire in 1888 made rides smoother, transforming cycling from a test of endurance into a joy of freedom. By the 1890s, the world was swept into what historians call the golden age of bicycles. In this era, the bicycle transcended engineering. It became an idea. Women like Susan B. Anthony called it the greatest symbol of female independence, saying, "It has done more to emancipate women than anything else in the world." Young workers found a means to travel beyond their neighborhoods. Messengers, lovers, dreamers, all discovered in cycling a kind of spiritual freedom that only movement can give. Manufacturers refined designs, added brakes, gears, and lights. Bicycle factories expanded across Europe and America, producing millions annually. It was no longer a novelty, but a necessity. Streets buzzed with the hum of chains and the whisper of tires. Different inventors now saw the bicycle through different lenses. For engineers, it was a marvel of balance and mechanics. For reformers, it was a tool of social change. For entrepreneurs, it was an industry worth millions. And for ordinary people, it was a companion, the first true taste of personal freedom. The bicycle became the first personal vehicle of humanity, decades before cars or motorcycles would dominate the roads. With the dawn of the 20th century came the automobile, and the bicycle briefly lost its throne. The wealthy turned to engines and speed, leaving bicycles for the working class. Factories shifted focus, and cycling seemed destined to fade into nostalgia. But history has a way of circling back, much like a wheel. During the World Wars, bicycles once again became vital. Soldiers used them to deliver messages, scouts relied on them for stealth, and civilians used them to survive when fuel was scarce. After the wars, the bicycle was reborn, not as a luxury or necessity, but as a symbol of endurance and sustainability. In the 1950s and 1960s, as cars filled the cities, bicycles became icons of childhood and simplicity. In the 1970s, amid oil crises and environmental concerns, a new generation rediscovered cycling as a solution: clean, efficient, and personal. Modern inventors pushed innovation further. Lightweight alloys, aerodynamic frames, carbon fiber, and precision gears transformed the bicycle into a scientific masterpiece. From racing on the Tour de France to exploring mountain trails, cycling evolved into both sport and culture. What makes the story of the bicycle unique is not just its mechanical evolution, but the philosophical transformation that accompanied it. Each inventor saw in the bicycle something deeply human. Drais saw necessity, a response to scarcity.